The Haunted Forest, dudes. I have been semi-asking for this for a long time, but the way that I would like it is if it was like an Iron Banner type event for PvE players, like a trial mode or something like that, where basically you mix in Sparrow Racing and Strikes all into one hustle race, where it's like who gets the most points, who gets the most kills, things like that, and then at the end your score's tallied up and the beast on the team is the winner. I wish they would add something like this, and it kind of reminds me of it when you're doing the Haunted Forest. Although it is about teamwork, it seems like everybody is also trying to outkill everybody at the same time, so it's a little bit of a competitive event. So maybe that thing will be in the future, maybe that's the step they're kind of taking it, I have no idea. But if you're using an Warlock, I'm going to show you what the best build is for it. So when you see my stats, the Haunted Forest is not about stats. It's all about being ready with your recharge rates, your heavy ammo, and things like that. So when you're in every encounter, you're completely ready to mow it down the fastest and do the most damage to get onto the next adds, so you can get that 100% to then teleport into the boss and mow them and get the most rounds done. So let's step right into it. I'm going to show you what I've been using that has been freaking dominating. Alright, starting off with the helmet, I have the Jade Rabbit mask on, but of course you can choose whatever, but make sure the perk that you choose is Nightmare Slayer 2, because it does double damage to bosses, and if all three of you have that on, you can melt a boss with literally in seconds. Another thing too, heavy ammo finder. This is not your traditional heavy ammo finder where you have like an increased drop rate, even though you do. This one actually works and drops it almost every like 4 to 5 kills, it seems like, so you're always stacked with heavy ammo. The biggest mistake you can make is trying to stack other heavy ammo finders with this one, because if you do that, the game cancels out this heavy ammo finder and only will apply it to its other one, which is on the other pieces of armor, and you'll hardly ever get heavy ammo to drop if you do that. So don't use any other heavy ammo finders, just use the one on the helmet and you'll have heavy ammo all the time. And then it also the precision kill ability recharge. Keep your grenades, your melee, your rift, things like that coming back. So super key. Just make sure you do Nightmare Slayer 2 and do not stack any other heavy ammo finders, because you'll find yourself never having heavy ammo. Trust me on that. Anyways, let's move on to the arms. Alright, so for the arms, a super mod, 2 mobility, 1 recovery, impact induction, so melee hits and kills will charge your grenade, and then whatever reserve you're going to be using, make sure it's reserved though, even though I have scavenger, because reserves let you pick up more and hold more in reserves. Onto the chest piece, another super mod, flick it to the recovery stat when you go inside the chest piece, and then whatever your perks are on the chest, it's all up to you. This is just the one out of the collections tab, but make sure you put that super mod on it as well. But the vesper radius, if you're surrounded by enemies and your allies are close, your rift charges hella fast, so you always have Arc Soul for everybody on your team. You can start encounters like that where everybody can rush in with an Arc Soul buddy with them, and it's super beast and it helps out everybody, and you always get it back in those rounds where like attrition's on, where you can't recover. Having that back fast keeps you alive a lot, and the Arc Soul does beast damage, so Vesper Radius is a super key in this build. Now onto the legs, I'm still using the same prodigal steps with the grenade charge mod that takes you from a stock minute 22 to about a minute and 2, and then plus you have the impact induction charging it even further. But traction is hella key, dude, because you need to zoom around and get a lot of ground movement basically, because you're kind of in a confined area, and moving and being able to zigzag and things like that really helps you out. And then onto the bond, another super mod, recuperation, so when you touch those orbs your health is back, so when attrition's on, things like that, health is automatically put back. You don't have to wait on the recharge rate or anything like that, like what better already does. And then I use a rocket reserve, so when I pick up more, I can hold more and pick up more, so get 3 on the drop, plus I can hold 8, maybe even more if I have a rocket that has on field prep or something like that. And then as far as your class on arc, I'm using the bottom tree, because this thing also supports the build as well. So electrocuting melee ability recharges the super grenade and the melee energy back. You have landfall, you have the Arc Soul ability guy going on, your rift charges faster when your allies are near, just different things like that make this it's just, they all work together. Arc is, in my opinion, the best class to use for it. I'm not saying you shouldn't have a Well of Radius guy or anything like that, because that can help also, but to be able to beast and have a good super and stuff like that, the arc, it just tears it down, dude, and it lasts a super long time. And like I said, the stats aren't really mattering in this. It's about getting your stuff back to kill quick, because you know, when you're pretty much dead in that place, you're dead. So your recovery isn't going to really help you that much. So I'm not really tripping about that. The helmet throws a huge wrench in it, so you can't really be choosy about your stats because of the helmet not having stats and perks and things like that, like other traditional armor does. So this is basically the best that it gets when it comes to just wrecking and tearing down ads and having abilities ready for every encounter you go to, every time you teleport to a boss or go to another room. So I'm going to show you some gameplay, because I feel like you need to watch this gameplay to understand what this build does and how it reacts based on like the time and stuff you're doing this stuff on. So even though we don't get to, like, you know, the 10th round or anything like that, it's not because of me in this. It's just the random team that I'm paired with. I'm doing my job, but it's like a rare occasion where I find a team that can go all the way from 8 and higher rounds and things like that. So let's jump into this gameplay and check it out. Alright, I'm just going to let the mic go and just ramble this stuff on. So I'm not going to probably let you see the whole thing. I'm more than likely going to cut a lot of it out. That way you don't have to sit here for like 20 minutes while we keep going or whatever, however long this is going to take. So just pay attention to the recharge rates, the ammo. As far as your guns, like, you can use, you know, whatever, of course, but I highly recommend that your energy and your power weapon have auto reload on him. So you can just basically throw it and keep going without having to worry too much about reloading. Especially on like your shotgun, if you get a bad lander that has auto loading on it. Sins of the past, I went ahead and upgraded that to bring it back. But I mean, my main focus here is just to keep going without having to slow down for anything, for like recharge rates or reloading my guns, or I just wanted to basically just keep going, and the team I'm with basically just follows behind pretty much the whole time. There's been a couple teams that, like, we've been tearing it down, but like, I can't find that many teams that can do it. Like, it's an average around 6 to 7 rounds, it seems like, and then the occasional, you know, we'll get 8 and up, but it's super hard to find people to do this that like understand the key to this, which is like running and killing. It seems like a lot of people even like are running past all the ads and not even killing them, like they don't realize that that's how you get to the boss. So I don't know, man, but it is what it is. But I just wish that it would rank you with like people with similar like numbers, like KD numbers and stuff like that, kind of like in PvP with the ELO or whatever. I'm not sure how they would do that with, you know, PvE, but I just wish that some of the teams were a lot better. Not that this team I'm on is horrible, I'm not saying that at all, but it's just like in general, a lot of the teams I've been getting on, it's just everybody freaking dying all the time and like not being able to help with clearing ads. But I just feel like if you have your right build on and you're doing your job, then, you know, that's really all you can do. So yeah, check out all this heavy that I'm getting to drop, and it's insane, man. Like, all kinds of heavy. There's another one. But I'm going to cut a lot of this out, so you're not going to see some of the times that I get heavy ammo. But I was going to also include the time that I thought it was going to be a good idea to stack the heavy ammo finder. And I didn't even realize it until like 2 or 3 of these haunted forests. So I realized, like, dang, I'm not throwing as many rockets as I was. And then I did another round where I paid attention, and I was like, wow, it's really not dropping at all. So I went back to the helmet, and then I noticed it was dropping like all the time. So then it kind of clicked on me. I was like, dude, the game is like, it's like confused on which one's more prominent, like, you know, which one's the dominating perk here. And it seems like the main game heavy ammo finder will dominate the perk on this helmet that does it or whatever. But yeah, it seems like I got special ammo with a shotty. Like, I was good on that most of the time. The team, I checked their stuff, they both had the boss slayer, the nightmare slayer on, so I was basically just making ammo for everybody with my supers most of the time when it would come to boss encounters, because I knew that they were going to be able to melt the boss down really fast because of the nightmare slayer perk on. But yeah, going into here, lay an arc soul down before you rush in, and then as long as they stay close and I'm staying close to the ads, it charges relatively fast, especially on boss fights. I get it all the time because of all the ads that are in boss encounters. I'm digging Trackless Waste though. If you got a kill clip one, that thing wrecks. Super beast with the Ophidian aspect also. I recommend Ophidian aspect as well. If you don't have that auto loading perk, then Ophidians really do help with that. And just for reloading and getting, you know, the shot off before you're meleeed by an ad or whatever, like if attrition's on, or glass and grounded, or glass and blackout. Like, you never know what perks are going to be on, so, you know, you just got to basically have your build be ready for you. So if shit hits the fan, you got a rift to throw down or whatever you're gonna need, pretty much. Supers, getting supers back are super important because you got to make orbs for everybody, and then when they make orbs for you, not only do you get, you know, the regeneration of your super back, but you also have little battlefield areas where you can use recuperation to your advantage and go touch an orb if you need to. So this gameplay just happens so fast that, you know, when you get to the higher rounds, the ads, you know, they're not 200 light anymore, as you can tell. They hit pretty hard. But yeah, boss encounters are like the easiest part, because if you have a team of 3 with Nightmare Slayer on, I mean, the boss is finished, man. Like, one of you just needs to be in charge of making ammo for everybody. So because the ammo that you have dropped will stay in that boss area on every boss. It goes back to the same area. So sometimes you might, you know, if you got 3 or 4 rockets, you see another brick laying down, you might not even want to pick that up. Just keep it there for the next boss fight, because what if you don't have heavy ammo, you know, or something happens, or where you need more heavy ammo to beat the clock. So it's always good to stack a couple bricks in the boss area, because you know you're pretty much going to get it through the ad fighting. So that's basically what I did. But yeah, super all the time. I think it's also cool if you have somebody with Orpheus rig on as a hunter. I found that hella useful, especially on the boss encounters. That double, you know, damage with the Nightmare Slayer plus the tether adding the damage. A Titan, I would probably run Void class on. The detonation on Void with Titan, super beast. I'm actually going to make a build on that pretty soon of what I would use if I were using the Void Titan with the new subclass. But I'll have that out and probably maybe later today, maybe tomorrow. I still got to, like, you know, do the work on it to figure that out. I super love impact induction. That always happens because you're always meleeing in this place. So every melee hit to the body or kill you do, charging the grenade back. Plus if you get the headshots. But the most important thing that I found out of the whole build was the Vesper of Radius, and then the heavy ammo finder on the helmet, and being sure you don't stack those up. But I was getting heavy all the time, man. The Sins of the Past, you just throw the rocket and immediately switch to your shotgun, and then your shotgun will be reloaded when you're done with it, and then your rocket will always be reloaded because auto-loading holster. Auto-loading holster kept my speed going the whole time. Like, I always had my stuff loaded, especially if I was doing a boss encounter. I could throw a rocket, switch to shoddy. Once all the shoddy's out, I could switch back to my rocket, throw that, and then switch to primary, and then my shotgun would be reloaded, so switch back. So it was always going full circle with ammo without ever having to reloading and just constantly doing DPS the whole time. So Sins of the Past is definitely worth bringing back. If you don't have a Sins and have a Braytech Osprey, the reload on that is hella awesome as well. So there's 2 rockets from year 1 that are still beasting. And I already knew Braytech Osprey and Sins were still gonna beast. Sleepless is a good rocket, but if you look at the stats in comparison, the velocity on Braytech and Sins are awesome. The handling and stability are awesome on it. Sleepless can have max blast radius, but those, Sins and Braytech pretty much almost have that anyways. It's not much of a difference, I think I would rather have the handling to be able to swing my rockets around fast, so Sins lets me have that hella handling. But anyways, man, that's basically it, man. If you try this build out, like I said, it's really not about the stats in the Haunted Forest. It's about recharge rates and getting heavy ammo. So hopefully you will dig that, man. Get that Arc Soul for everybody. Get yourself healed. Catch y'all on the next one in space, bros. Later.